Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a very important tip in Escape from Tarkov on something you should be doing with every single weapon that you find in Raid. Now, whether that is just taking one attachment or all the attachments from it, this is a very important tip, so hopefully you'll stick through the entire video and hopefully you'll leave a like on the video. Guys, we're almost at 250 subscribers. There was actually a YouTube thing going on where my sub count wasn't displaying correctly. I got a little notification in like my dashboard or whatever. So you guys have been killing it with the support. I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. We're working our way to 1,000 subs. Going to be doing a hardcore playthrough once we get there. Hoping to get there by next wipe or during next wipe. So I really appreciate your support by hitting that subscribe button. So let's hop right into it, man. The SV98 we're going to save for last because that's actually the most important one to talk about. But we have a PP19 here, which, you know, usually these kind of weapons like PP19, the 74U, I'm just quick selling to mechanic. I don't really bother with the flea market, but if you want to get that flea market rating up just that much more, then go for it. You might take a hit on the rubles, but at the end of the day, you're still getting that rating up, and that might be more important to you towards the end of wipe when you're trying to really crank out some sales. So the PP19, what we need to be doing on every single weapon that is found in Raid is taking those attachments off that don't affect the functionality of the weapon. So I'm going to give you an example right now. I'm going to take the pistol grip off and watch the weapon turn to red. That means it is not functional, and when you list it as this right here, it will not show up in the main feed because functional items is turned on by default in your search mechanics when it comes to everything in the flea market. So you want your weapon to be functional. Therefore, you want to take off attachments that are not going to affect the functionality of the weapon, such as the rear sight. As you can see, the weapon did not turn red. Therefore, this is free money right here. If you would have listed it as this, then you would have essentially lost some extra profit. So we're going to take the magazine out. There's more profit. So we have a dust cover. Take that off. Even more profit. We have a muzzle brake. Take it off. More profit. We have a stock. More profit. And there you go. Now you have the pistol grip, the handguard, and the gas block. That is all that's left on this PP19. Now we go to filter by item. We go to the flea market, and we're going to list that for 20,999, and that will sell being that stripped down. And that is one thing you need to do on every single weapon. And honestly, man, you know, you might think, wow, this is not going to sell. It doesn't have any attachments. Well, you're actually wrong. It's going to sell fairly quickly for anybody who loves using the PP19, and they're just not going to look and see the attachments are stripped on it. So we have a 74U. This one's a little more important. There went that PP19, just like that. So now let me just show you all of this extra profit we're going to get from that weapon. We sold it 1,000 under market price, yet we made an extra 3,000. So there you go. It's a really efficient thing to do. So going back into the stash, we have the 74U. Now, typically when you find these in Raid, they're going to be loaded. So you need to take that ammunition out. And one thing that's very important to do is sell the ammunition. Don't use it because you can use PS rounds in a 74U. It's not like you're going to be using BS in a 74U. You're using a shitty weapon. I expect you to be using shitty ammo. So sell the mid-tier ammo and buy some shitty ammo. It just makes sense to do. We have our magazine here and we have our ammo. So we took the ammo out of the 74U, which you might have just sold on its own when it's worth 270 rubles a round. That's a lot, you know? That's a significant amount. So we're going to list that for 270. We'll let that sell on its own. Now we have the rest of the attachments. The muzzle brake. See you later. The dust cover. See ya. We have the stock, and it's the same story from earlier. Now we have this weapon we can sell on the flea market. Unfortunately, we're going to have to sell it very, very cheap, but that's okay. Sell it for... These actually drop a decent bit, so I'm going to list it for fairly cheaper than all the other ones, just so we can guarantee it sells. But we have our mechanic again. Boom, another 3,000 profit right there. So I mean, you can't go wrong with doing this where you're listing it at like the lowest price. But the SV98, this one's the most important because every time you get this weapon, you can simply just click dismantle. Because every single attachment on the SV98 is not required for its functionality. Anytime I get one of these, I know it's a ton of free profit because none of these attachments are needed for this weapon to work. As you can see, it will still function as is. So now I have all of this profit right here. And before flea market was turned to found in raid, I was sitting there sniping SV98s left and right and then reselling them and making a fortune. I think it was on one of my items of the week on my main channel. So the SV98, or let me do the attachments first. Let me show you that you can make a ton off of these attachments, man. Boom, 7,000 off the attachments. That's 7,000 rubles you would have just given away. So now we're going to go ahead and sell that SV98, which people use for tasks and such, for 35,000 rubles. And if they're using it for a task, it's not like it even matters. So, guys, you need to be doing this with every single weapon that you find in Raid. It's super, super important to strip the attachments off. I think we made, an additional 15,000 rubles just stripping all those attachments off and then selling them on the flea market for their normal prices. So, there's no reason you shouldn't be doing it. It doesn't affect you whatsoever. It actually hurts the person buying it. And in Tarkov, you're supposed to be selfish. You're supposed to give the enemy the disadvantage at all times. Whatever makes people spend more money. I mean, I know I'm helping you guys, but I'm saying, for you guys to make money off of them. So, whatever hurts the other person negatively to give you a better chance in any type of raid or, whatever the case may be. You're supposed to be out for yourself, fending for yourself, scavenging for yourself in this game. So, never forget that. Make that money, make that bread, bring in that good gear for me. I want to take it from you. About all we got here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.